Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. This time, I thought I would take the liberty of making a somewhat ridiculous orbiter, as I may have mentioned before. This thing isn't just a little cheapo single-stage to orbit. This thing is a full-on spacecraft. There's science pods, communications, temperature sensors, weather sensors, atmosphere sensors, G sensors, the goo pod, not to mention a big, cozy-looking crew cabin with some Kerbals in there. Asset and Macvin are certainly going to enjoy each other's company for a while, as this thing's not going much farther than just orbit. But it does get to orbit. Or damn well better get to orbit. This thing is going to be another single-staged orbiter with 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 Rapier engines. Yes, I called those cheating before, and I still feel that they're overly good for what they do compared to how hard it is to build an SSTO in any other way. But, hey, they do their job, and it's what you can do if you get a heavy lift. In this case, these things all have their own slight supply of liquid fuel to fuel them when they're in jet mode. Then there's rocket, there's more rocket, there's a ton of rocket, and here's even more rocket, and there's the crew cabin. So they're floating in the middle of a whole lot of rocket fuel. And there's like 13 engines, there's 13 ram cones, shock cone intakes to get as much air as possible, keep the jet stage variants of these Rapiers happy to the high altitudes. Only slight problem is with this design is that the shock cone in the front isn't going to take this heat that well. Sure, they're all getting hit, but the one in the front's really eating it. And there goes the heat up. The shock cone and the bottom power supply got the hottest. Now the rest are heating up too. And any minute now, kablamo! There goes the front shock cone. But the entire thing is still flying, so I'm calling it still functional. What I need is a nose cone that can take more heat than that, I guess. But I don't know how much more I can do with that. Just the thing's gotta get some real speed before it gets anywhere. Right now we're, as you can see, 14 sits forward, and it's losing speed because these things are still in air-breathing mode and they're losing the ability to sustain that. Luckily, they will auto-switch once they flame out, which will happen very, very shortly. There we go. Now they've switched to rocket fuel. So instead of just using liquid fuel, they're now using liquid fuel with oxidizer. Instead of using liquid fuel with intake air, they're now using liquid fuel with oxidizer. So they'll be able to fly even when they don't have sufficient intake air, like up here in the upper atmosphere. And we're also accelerating very quickly. And you can still kind of see the Kerbal launch pad way back in the corner there. And can't see the next island yet. What's this? Is that the Mun? That's a little small looking for the Mun. But I see a thing in the front. What is that thing in front of me? I mean, the Mun, there's the sun, or Kerbal. Yeah, Kerbal was the sun's. Kerbol. What is that I'm seeing in front of me? I don't know what that is. Well, in any event, the only thing I lost was the front shock cone. The rest of those things were protected long enough by it that they didn't overheat. But it definitely did. And, oh, and all of a sudden, space. Ooh, Okay. I'm thinking that's a piece of debris, but it's not labeled. Like, if it's another ship, you'd expect it to say as much at some point or another. I wonder if I'll actually catch up to that enough to get any kind of look. I mean, it's clearly there. It's not just a glitch, and it's spinning up there, so it's probably a piece of space debris. But obviously, I can't tell really. If I go here, there's nothing in front of me that's actually a ship in that location. What is it? Stop doing that, you camera. No, it's still there, but there's nothing in front of me as far as this goes at higher than my altitude. So if that's anything, it's got to be debris from one of the other ships. Well, either way, as you can see, they are now in space. And as you can see from this orbit, 100,000, 99,000, they are in stable orbit 100,000 meters up. So I got 2 Kerbals, an entire crew, a very large cozy crew cabin, and an entire array of science crap up into orbit, up into stable orbit with a single stage orbiter using those Rapier engines and a whole bunch of struts. And according to this, I still have, like, what is that? A quarter, or somewhere between a quarter and a third of my fuel left. Well, that's not going to really get it much farther, but it did get into space. So that is my heavy lift single stage to orbit. Well, that'll be about it for this video. Remember to rate the video, share the video, and subscribe if you want to see videos similar to this one. Goodbye.